Happy about around the Nationals right now. A 6-3 road trip, 12 games over 500. Solid pitching, sound defense, and a recent supply of power leading the way. Tonight, back home in D.C., and Stephen Strasburg in line to be the first to 10 wins. So great to be back home for the Nats. It's 80s night at the ballpark. Nats and Phillies open up a weekend series. We've had music from the leg warmers. We've got Ghostbusters here. Everything going on at the ballpark. It's a lot of fun. As for us, all of our clothes are at the laundry. We had nothing else to wear tonight. That's Frank. I'm Robert. Let's talk about the Nats and Stephen Strasburg.
I'm nervous.
Oh, man. All right. We know this is live. We're going to keep on going. Strasburg, interesting day in Cincinnati last week. Rain, his hip was hurting. He got a calf, Charlie horse, and it was just a rough afternoon for him, but he still managed to avoid the loss.
Yeah, 27th 10K game for Stephen Strasburg, trying to keep it together here. But he's doing his thing. He's trying to be 10-0 for the first time in his career, and only a handful of guys have ever in the history of baseball started the season 10-0. So last start, the fastball was crackling in there at 95. Then we started noticing him kind of stretching his hip, digging in his hip with his thumb. We were wondering, is it the humidity, is it the heat? Turns out he was just dehydrated, took a couple swings, tried to stay loose. Then the calf was the last thing. Then a rain delay for about, 23 minutes. Then Joey Votto comes in, hits a home run. So we said that broadcast, Stephen Strasburg is a rhythm guy. Got out of his rhythm with the rain delay. The cramp in the calf came out of the game, and I have no idea how they just got through that.
Well, Strasburg hopefully okay tonight. We'd love to see him get win number 10. So Steven still doing quite well these days. And as far as MLB leaders in wins, a whole bunch of guys with 9. Who's going to be the first to double figures? We hope it is our guy tonight. Then there's Daniel Murphy. 4 homers on the road trip. May 30th at Philadelphia off Jeremy Hellickson, tonight's Phil starter. Hit his 11th last night, and the last 3 times he reached 11. Those were all in September. So Murphy on a pace for way over 20, maybe 25 or 30 home runs this year. the ballpark. They were here right from the moment the gates opened, having a lot of fun. Hopefully the Nats will too. It's a short 6-game homestand, Phillies and the Cubs. Humidity down, 78 degrees. Barely a wisp of a cloud in the sky. Just beautiful. CESAR HERNANDEZ this season, much better road warrior than he is at home. He kind of reflects what goes on in this series. The road team has won 8 out of 9 games when the Phillies and the Nats get together. Odubel Herrera has been a load for the Nats. Tommy Joseph in there at first base in place of the slumping of Ryan Howard. More on Strasburg in a moment. He faces Odubel Herrera, who's on a 4-game hitting streak, 7 for 14. Up there hacking, first pitch. Just a little late at 7:06.
A fastball averaging 95, slider, curveball change, the 4-pitch arsenal for Stephen Strasburg. The 27th 10K game of his career last start, 1,000th strikeout of his career, and the 3rd no decision this year.
Drew on the edge of the grass at 3rd. We'll set the defense for you momentarily. Steven retreats as Herrera then pops one up that sends him running toward the dugout, but safely into the Phillies dugout. Have a little retro look on the scoreboard tonight as well. So Herrera sporting an on-base percentage of .422. And they couldn't get these strikes to change to 1 and 2, so they've gone to the full panel player bio here. Herrera 2 for 9 against Strasburg, and he fouls one off to the left.
He is not letting Wilson Ramos play.
Gabe Morales has the plate tonight. Trip Gibson, Jerry Lane, the crew chief, at second, and Scott Berry, third base.
He is swinging at everything. Wilson Ramos hasn't caught a pitch yet.
CESAR HERNANDEZ and MAIKEL FRANCO up after Herrera here. 9th in the league at .318.
On the 0-2, maybe a bounce when he chases it in the dirt. You feel like that's where you've gotten Herrera in the past. He'll chase below the strike zone with the off speed. But he is ready to hit. Here's your Nats defense. Worth, Revere, Harper, the outfield. Espinoza, Drew, left side. Murphy, Zimmerman, right side. And Wilson Ramos behind the plate. Stephen Drew giving Anthony Rendon just a night off. Anthony will be back in there tomorrow. A few more Nats will have tomorrow off with the early start. Dusty Baker has it all planned out. And Stephen Drew swinging it. Wanted to keep him in there.
Absolutely. 0-2 again. Wilson Ramos finally catches a pitch. Strasburg 79 innings so far, 64 hits, 100 strikeouts, 7 behind Max Scherzer, 4th most in the league. Going to take a lot of pitches to get out Odubel Herrera.
The only one he didn't swing at, I thought he might have thought it was going to hit him, so he couldn't swing. It was a kind of a run back fastball with a little run to it. And CESAR HERNANDEZ wondering when he's going to get his turn.
And a 1-2 again. Got him. 90 on the changeup, moving away from the left-handed batter.
I just feel as a pitcher, look at the spray chart there. If you have a guy that aggressive in at bat and he ends it with a hit, it's your fault for throwing him a strike. And Stephen Strasburg did a nice job of expanding the zone right there with the changeup to get to strike 3. I don't ever have to throw a guy a strike that's swinging at everything. Never.
Next up is CESAR HERNANDEZ. And he's up there swinging as well.
I wonder what the game plan for the Phillies is tonight.
Swing and swing.
See White swing. No game plan.
When he shows you the fastball a foot high, take it and then swing again. That's a busted bat. Ryan Zimmerman with a one-handed scoop. 2 outs.
Then 10 pitches, 1 has been caught.
Game notes for you. So the Nats have been a team scoring a lot of first-inning runs this year. The Phillies have not. In fact, the worst in all of baseball. Strasburg has 6 10-strikeout games this season, elevating his career total up to 27. And the former Philly JAYSON WERTH revving it up. 314 last 9 games. And if you go beyond that, he's just under 290 over 23 games is JAYSON WERTH, who will be hitting second tonight. Again, here's MAIKEL FRANCO.
Jeez. Where's the fire? Phillies in a hurry tonight.
Well, they had an off day yesterday, so eager evidently to get back to it.
There's 1 pitch that's been taken so far, and it was the one that almost hit Herrera.
That's on the inside edge.
This is nasty. It's locked him up. He wanted to swing.
Well, tonight, as opposed to Saturday in Cincinnati, not quite as hot, certainly nowhere near as muggy and humid. Steven might have gotten some dehydration going in that game.
It's a perfect night to pitch.
This is awesome here. And the 1-2 delivery to the number 3 hitter. Swing and a miss. 2 Ks to bookend the inning. 102 on the year. Strasburg got Herrera. Hernandez a grounder. Franco. See ya. Crowd at the yard, and we will have some amazing attendance figures this weekend. Here come the Nats, hitting .248, 8th in the league, up to 6th in homers and 1st in home runs. Wilson Ramos right in the middle of all of it. So 9 games, 14 for 31. He's driven in 12 with 3 homers. He has scored 9 times. Wilson Ramos in the number 6 spot. Here's 29-year-old Jeremy Hellickson. At times, he's pitched pretty well against the Nationals this year. 1-2, 5 career starts against our ball club.
Pretty well, Carp. The last time he faced the Nats, he went 7, gave up 1. The time before that, he went 7 shutouts. So 14 straight innings against the Nats, giving up just 1 run. That was after they shelled him the first time, where he only lasted 3 innings and gave up 6 runs on 7 hits. So he's done well.
Ben Revere coming off a pretty solid series in Chicago. Not in the lineup last night, but he had 4 hits, an RBI, couple of walks in a couple of games against the White Sox. 1 for 6 career against Hellickson. On the grass at third, Franco. Well outside, 1-1. Let's go inside the numbers, brought to you by Jeep on Ben Revere. So you take that out over 3 games, including Saturday afternoon, or rather Sunday afternoon in Cincinnati, and he's all over the bases. In the air to center, hit pretty well. Herrera into the sunlight. A triangle of sunlight out there, and he steps into it to make that grab.
Here's your Phil's defense for the night. Ashley, Herrera, Goodell the outfield. Galvis, Franco left side. Hernandez, Joseph right side. And Carlos Ruiz behind the plate. Tommy Joseph taking over for a struggling Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard hitting right around 100 since the beginning of May, and the Phillies have made a switch.
Yes, they have, to Tommy Joseph. Jason Worth career against his former team, 268. 17 home runs, 62 RBIs. And against Hellickson, 3 for 14 with a long ball. Worth went 3 for 13 with a 2-run homer in Philly. And that's Chicago, and there's Harper on deck. Jason was 6 for 13. 2-0 pitch. He'll take his walks.
Nice. Teen Wolf. Not a stretch. Could have gone Michael Jackson Thriller video too.
Taking all the way on 3-0.
Jason's looking at something out there.
That's against the Phillies, 5-4 on the year.
I think I saw what he saw.
Off-speed pitch, and he takes the 1-out walk.
Carp, if you look at the 402 sign, straightaway center field, there's a shadow there. And when somebody's walking up the stairway in the red seats, the shadow of the head was moving across that where it's dark to light. So there was a head bouncing in there, and he stepped out because it was in the background of his vision.
Yeah, right in the batter's eye there. Long shadows cast by the security guy, and any fans going up and down the stairs. Bryce Harper, 3 for 8, 5 walks against Jeremy Hellickson. Bryce had 5 hits in the Chicago series with 3 RBIs.
I think that's when Hellickson get in trouble. You know, he's not a guy that can challenge you with a lot of plate. He doesn't have the stuff, but you know, he'll move it around, he'll keep it down. He has to shave off corners to be successful, but he can get too fine sometimes and fall behind. That's when he gets hurt. Like right now.
Harper all geared up, but he got the off-speed breaking ball.
So Nats got home late last night. You look at the fewest plate appearances per walk, National League leaders. Bryce up there, 4.9. But, you know, talking about the travel and getting home, what, 4:35, whatever.
Yeah, most of us got to bed between 4 and 5 this morning.
I mean, the schedule stinks, but you have to deal with it. You can't use it as an excuse. The players will never use it as an excuse, so we'll do it for them. Today they'll be okay. It's tomorrow that you're worried about with that 12 o'clock start.
And then 4 o'clock on Sunday. Short lead by Worth. 2-1, and Harper unable to make contact there. Counts even 2-2. Hellickson's 13th start. The league hitting .252 against him. He's given up 11 home runs. Slightly to pull in center is Herrera as they bunch Bryce toward the gap. Kind of a Sunfield out there. Boy, Worth got some kind of jump. So that's why there's no play at second base. Bryce hit the ball hard. Jason Worth off and running on a 2-strike count. Bryce had to swing. 2 outs, runner in scoring position.
It looked like he got that big curveball, stayed on it nice, just got on top of it a hair, but Worth did get a good jump. Sees the ball go right in front of him, knows where it is, hits the brakes. So we'll see if Daniel Murphy gets anything to hit right here. The guy on deck's pretty hot.
Yeah, first base open, right-handed hitter next. Murphy against Hellickson career, 3 for 9 with a homer and a base on balls.
See Daniel hit.
Pretty basic. And for Daniel, it's see ball, hit ball, and then run bases.
And Hellick's the kind of guy in this situation with first base open. He might get strike one on you, now try to expand and get you thinking that he's going after you when really, in theory, he's not. You're going to try to make Daniel Murphy hit his pitch from here on out. It's a big hot zone.
Murphy, .314 career against Philadelphia pitching. Next time he drives in a run against the Phils, it'll be number 60. Long look here. Got to step out soon, doesn't he?
It's 80s night, man. Everything took longer in the 80s.
Murphy pulls it to his right, Tommy Joseph. So the Nats hit a couple of balls hard. In fact, all 3 were hit pretty well. Stranded is Worth after his walk. Strasburg back to work. No score.
At Nationals Park. Their Phillies were one of the main stories across Major League Baseball through the first 6 or so weeks of the season. They got off to a fantastic and surprising start through action on May 19th. The Phillies were 7 games over 500, 1 game back of the Nats. But there were a couple numbers that kind of maybe led you to believe that the Phillies would come back down to earth a little bit. Their run differential to that point was -28. They were getting outscored by 28 runs, 14-3 in 1-run games. And since May 20th, guys, they have come back to earth. They're now 7 games back of the Nats and 9 games under 500. Starting pitching has dropped off. The clutch hits have dissipated. It's a different ball club now.
Yeah, and they've got some bats that have cooled off. Swing and a miss. And that's Dan with our Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Here's Tommy Joseph. 20 ball games, 19 for 61. Starting to get a feel for Major League pitching. He'll be 25 in middle of July and just 36 at-bats at the big league level last year. There's the division.
Pete McCann saying he's glad that the Cubs were gone. Cubs won 5 out of 6 against the Phillies this year.
This went off to the right side.
And he was real honest. He said, hey, we're not on that level yet. We're trying to get there as soon as possible. We want to be like the Cubs, but we are definitely not the Cubs yet.
I'm just looking back over the Phillies schedule. Since they beat the Braves on May 22nd, they've had only 4 wins since. So that's the better part of 3 weeks. Carlos Ruiz is next. But they get Kobayashi back. And I guess Tommy Joseph will be tossing his bat away for a different reason than he thought. He thought he had walked. He strikes out looking. And Strasburg, 3 out of 4. Nissan will track.
Yeah, this one backed up on Steven Strasburg, and Tommy Joseph saw that action at the end. It was in the top right corner of the box. Steven Strasburg's been throwing strikes, gets the borderline call. I wouldn't be happy if I was Tommy Joseph.
Here's Carlos Ruiz, 6 for 23 career against Steven. So for the Nats, Strasburg, Roark, and Ross in this series. For the Phillies, Hellickson, Nola, and Morgan. Aaron Nola tomorrow, Adam Morgan on Sunday. And then we get a look at the Cubs. Worry about them Monday. Take care of business right now. Here's Tanner, who goes tomorrow. Outfield straightaway, Bryce really shallow and right.
I was going to say, right before that pitch, if you're Carlos Ruiz, you have to put this pitch in play. You get to 2-1 off Steven Strasburg, you know you're getting a fastball, and now you're going to have to fight. But he'll give you something to hit somewhere in the count, but it's not going to be more than 1 pitch. So when you get to a 2-1 count against a guy like Strasburg, you got to put in play.
2-2. That's a nasty hook.
That was better than the strike 3 to Tommy Joseph.
Yeah, fans behind home plate, arms up, reacting.
I guarantee you it's in the box more than Tommy Joseph's was. Like I said, turned it.
He does walk, Ruiz. That'll bring in Freddie Galvis. Today, the world said goodbye to the champ WUSA 9's Bruce Johnson. Back in his hometown of Louisville, as Muhammad Ali was laid to rest. Tonight at 11 on WUSA 9 News. Look forward to Bruce Johnson's look back at the great life of the champ.
Billy Crystal's eulogy might have been the best thing I've ever heard. If you get a chance to listen to that. I was listening to on 106.7 right before he went on the air. Amazing.
Freddie Galvis. Breaking ball in there. I covered some boxing early in my career, but I don't know a whole lot about boxing other than a spectator. But one day in Chicago when I was 16, I found myself on the elevator with Muhammad Ali at the Executive House Hotel. And he was kind enough to sign a piece of paper autograph for a 16-year-old kid.
Very cool. And that's where Snoop Bob started. He was a good, rhymer. His poems about when he was going to knock somebody out.
1 ball, 1 strike. We had a moment.
It's pretty cool, though. Not a lot of people could say that. I guess a lot of people could say that with Ali. He was a people's champ. He was always everywhere.
And Gordie Howe passed away this morning. 23-time All-Star in the NHL and the greatest wrist shot in the history of the game. Unbelievable. Played in the NHL with his son. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. The passing of great people in the world of sports that remind us that it's, we're all day to day here. Enjoy it every day at the ballpark. I know major leaguers, they try to enjoy every moment they have that big league uniform on.
It goes fast, man.
It does. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Base hit, right field. Ruiz will stop at second as BRYCE charges. So a pretty good walk by Carlos Ruiz, and then Freddie Galvis, who came into that at bat 4 for his last 34, checks in with a base hit.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. Freddie Galvis has been in a big-time struggle. And a pretty good changeup by Steven Strasburg. Galvis goes down, digs it out, uses the hole created by the walk. Nice at bat.
Yeah, as recently as a week and a half ago, when the Nats were in Philadelphia, Freddie Galvis was still batting up near the top of the order in the number 2 hole. Had some hits against the Nats, including a home run in that series. So here's Kodiashi, who's back. He was on the DL for 53 games with a right oblique muscle pull, and that's something that can keep you on the shelf for a long time. So since coming back, he's 4 for 19 in 7 games. He's always hit the Nats well. .322 career. 25-year-old. And that is going to drop in center field. Around third is Ruiz. There's a play at third. Throw is not in time from Revere. And the Phillies have the line moving here. A walk and 2 singles. They're on the board 1-0. It's Kodiashi's first RBI since coming back.
Well, nice piece hitting by Kodiashi, going right back up the middle. But the thing I liked most about this play is you see the elevation on the pitch is Freddie Galvis, the trail runner. He is such a good base runner. We talk about how base running at the big league level is one of the most neglected aspects of the game. So when I see somebody like Galvis, who we've seen a bunch take chances like that, he knew Ben Revere, he knew the arm strength, he played with Ben Revere, and he went right in his face. That's an aggressive play by Galvis to get into third base with 1 out.
Now the Nats looking for a ground ball. Middle infielders Espinoza and Murphy back. Drew even with the bag at third. And it's up and in to Tyler Goodell, who's 0 for his last 8. So the Phils playing some small ball, which is what they have to do.
String hits together, take walks, get bunts down, hit and run, steal bases, be pesky. That's how they're going to beat you. It's not going to be with the long ball.
And a ball bunted, runner coming home, but it's late, the throw from Zimmerman, and Ryan really had nowhere else to go. So the Phillies bunt a run home, and it's 2-0.
Well, smart play right here by Tyler Goodell. He knows he's got good wheels on third and Galvis. So get it on the ground, let him read it. You know, looking at that replay again, that was Ryan's only play.
Yeah.
Murphy couldn't get to first. Strasburg didn't get over there. And he wouldn't have beat Tyler Goodell. So that was Zimmerman's only play.
First and second, still only 1 out. And for the Phillies, 4 consecutive base runners. Hellickson 2 hits, 2 RBIs this year. He can swing it. He's a 197 career hitter. He wants to move 2 runners ahead, and the Phillies are just doing everything right with their contact bats here in the 2nd inning. That's Strasburg to Murphy, 1-4 on a perfect sacrifice.
Goodell's a hit. Did you put a hit down for that?
Yeah.
Here's the previous play with Tyler Goodell, the right fielder for the Phillies, and watch Ryan Zimmerman charge. So he's going to get this bunt down eventually. And Daniel Murphy can't get there. Strasburg was looking at the ball, so that was his only play.
So 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs, and suddenly a guy who had 8 pitches in an at-bat to start the game becomes very dangerous. Odubel Herrera. He struck out finally. We'll see how aggressive he is 2nd time around, and there he goes hacking. So the Phillies have quieted the big crowd here.
Phillies were good in the 80s.
They were. They had 5 winning seasons. Beat the Royals in the playoffs, in the World Series actually, in 80. 3 years later, lost to the Orioles. And they made 3 playoff appearances during the decade. Guess who else was pretty good? The Montreal Expos.
Flock of Seagulls.
They had 6 winning seasons, made the playoffs once. And in 1980, the Phillies won the division in the East. 81 Phillies and Expos, because that was the split season.
Yeah. That was,
and then in 83, here came the Phils again.
That was Blue Monday. Rick Monday breaking all the Expos fans' heart with one swing.
Yeah, the homer off Steve Rogers in Montreal. Left side, Espinosa saves at least 1, maybe 2, with a quick move to his right. So the Phillies go contact in the 2nd. They'll settle for 2. They almost had 3 or 4. Well done by Danny.
It's all about you. Thursday, June 30th, Nats celebrate Ladies Night. Special ticket. You can enjoy pre-game activities, all kinds of fun stuff. Fashion show, DJ, tailgate games, racing presidents will be out there. Always receive an exclusive Nationals Infinity scarf, too. Tickets are at 7:05 start. Go to nationals.com/ladiesnight. And Carb? Should we for the Open? No. Got to draw the line somewhere.
You're starting to scare me. Bottom of the 2nd. So from 80s night to ladies night. And here's Ryan Zimmerman.
By the way,
born in the 80s, by the way.
You looked fantastic tonight, and the hair part down the middle sold it. I mean, I'm looking at pictures on the internet now.
They're on the internet already?
Yeah, with your hair party right down the middle. I mean, you sold that.
I thought I looked like some kind of fake gangster.
I'm just glad you had fun, and we had fun, and we're celebrating 80s tonight. Why not?
Cool.
It's a great promotion. Class of 85 right here. Thank you very much.
Wow, Ryan Zimmerman on an 0-2, ripping the pages. Gabe Morales, and the umpire's liking that inside corner. Ryan's still having words with him. So here's Wilson Ramos and where he ranks among catchers. First or second in all those categories except for voting for the All-Star game. Buster Posey is gaining on Yadier Molina. So some fans need to make sure that Terry Collins knows all about Wilson Ramos. I mean, he should.
He does.
Faces him enough.
And he's killed the Mets over the course of his career. Remember, we used to call him the Met killer? So yeah, Terry Collins knows all about the Buffalo.
I mean, how many catchers does an all-star team carry? At least 3?
I'm going to say 3. I don't know, but I'm just going to say 3.
Wilson, 11 hits his last 7 games, 8 RBIs.
If they put him in that silly vote-in thing, I'm going to lose it. He's an all-star catcher, and he needs to be on the team. But the Nats always get somebody that's having a really good first half into that vote-in thing, and then...
Yeah, and most people aren't going to do any research on that. They're going to vote for their most popular guy.
Oh.
Ramos 2 for 7. 2 RBIs against Hellickson career. Nationals down by 2, still looking for that first knock. Over the bag, backhand, MAIKEL Franco. He knew he had time with the catcher running. Well played, 2 outs.
Kind of took a tricky little hop at the end, came up on him, but he stayed soft with it. And then once he secures it, he knows with Wilson running, he's got a second. Watch out, last hop. Nice play, stand up. Strong arm, huh? Just fling that over there right on the money. That's a long throw. Look how easy he makes this look.
Well, it's 120 feet from bag to bag, and he was well beyond the third base bag.
That's a gun.
So here's Stephen Drew with 2 outs. 2 hits, a home run at Chicago. And 4 for 11. 2 bases on balls against Hellickson. Anthony Rendon getting a night off. Probably a good time for it. He's 0 for 10 career against the Phillies right-hander. He's been grinding it out every day. Now Hellickson looking real nice and relaxed, mixing things up. There's Anthony Rendon. 0 for 3 last night, but he was 4 for 13 in the Chicago series with a homer, 3 RBIs. Oh, to Drew. One and 2 with 2 outs. To Stevens' advantage, he can play third, he can play short, he can play second. Probably put the first baseman's mitt on as well. There's a guy who plays short for real, Danny Espinosa. He's really been good. 1-2 with 2 outs again. Drew not biting on the off speed.
Yeah, he just saved 2 runs with that nifty little play to end the top of the second. 2 outs. Tyler Goodell would have scored easily if it's past Espinosa.
Drew pulls it to his right. Tommy Joseph. Over there's Hellickson. He shut down the Nats so far. 2 good innings, just 1 base on balls. 2-0 Phils. Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Jimmy Rollins, we just saw him in the starting lineup in Chicago Wednesday night. The White Sox designated him for assignment today. Robinson Cano for the Mariners is absolutely on fire. And Giancarlo, hardest hit ball by StatCast, 124 miles an hour. It was a ground ball. May 12th of last season, he had one tracked at 120.
And the guy that caught that has a broken hand and is out for 2 months.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. Who caught that? It said ground ball double play, 124 miles an hour.
I don't know, but I don't think it mattered who was running on that one if they managed to glove it. Crazy. There's a good swing by CESAR HERNANDEZ. Bryce Harper over to cut it off in good fashion. He'll hold a speedy runner to a hit. And now the Phillies, 4 of their last 6 hitters have hit singles. One a bunt, swinging it well.
Well, good swing by CESAR HERNANDEZ first and foremost. And then pretty good play by Bryce Harper going away from the play, and Hernandez can fly. You don't see that too often, folks. A right fielder going away from the play and a speed guy staying to just a single. Nice play.
The contact making Phillies right now. MAIKEL FRANCO. And he'll chop one left side. On his way, Drew. Took him a second to get it out of his glove, but he still had plenty of time.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one tonight, look forward to Miller time later in the ball game. That's brought to you by Miller Lite. Good looking crowd here tonight. Beautiful night for baseball. If you're anywhere near the ballpark, come join us.
Tommy Joseph called out on strikes first time. Thought he had walked, and then Ruiz did, and since then things have been rough for Strasburg. And he had started the game striking out 3 of the first 4 Phillies batters. .40 pitches, 29 strikes, first 2 innings.
So Steven flew back ahead of the ball club. He didn't get in at 4 a.m. last night, so he could be fresh for this start. Tanner Roark, I think, joined him.
And Tanner, if this game would go long, could go home early tonight. That ball is really hit hard, and it's leaving the yard. Way out of here off the bat of Tommy Joseph. His 6th of the year. Now you see what the Phillies see in him, and this is a 4-0 game.
Well, check out the pitch, the location. It looks like the slider from Steven. And that had the sound. Warm night, ball carrying. Tommy Joseph got all of that one, folks. Way back for home run number 6.
Strasburg gives up his 9th home run of the year. Here's Carlos Ruiz, whose walk got that very troublesome 2nd inning off to a start with 1 out. Steven has him 0-2 here. Phillies hit their 52nd home run. Only the Braves, with an unbelievably low total of 23, have hit fewer homers in the league than Philadelphia. The Atlanta Braves have played 59 games and hit 23 home runs.
Hit speed, what do you got? 106, wow. 419 feet.
Scorched. That's a swing and a miss. Ramos able to block it, then he throws out Carlos Ruiz. And for Steven Strasburg, 4 Ks, 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. Freddie Galvis is next.
Well, if Steven Strasburg is going to go 10-0, his team's going to have to slug tonight and bail him out. Just wonder how much they have in the tank. We'll see. You know, people talk about what time they got in last night, Lockcarb, and yeah, that's tough. For me, a bigger issue is being on the road for 11 days.
Yeah.
You know how we feel when we get to the third city of an 11-day road trip. Imagine how the guys that are actually playing every single night feel.
To his right, Murphy throws out Freddie Galvis. Nats have 8-9-1 due up, and that number 8 man on our Freight Railworks due up is Danny Espinosa. 6 homers last 13 games, and he has 11 career against the Phils. Eight of his last 10 hits for extra bases. Let's go inside some numbers with our friends from Jeep. So the Nats have centered the ball more than any other team in the league. 82. The Mets and St. Louis 80 each going into today. They've hit a homer, at least one in 13 straight games. And then 32 in the last 15. 12,497 total feet.
Check out the temperature of the last 15 games and check out the ballparks they played in the last 15 games. And they're heating up. So add all those things, 3 things together.
Strike one from Hellickson, his 28th pitch, his 18th strike. Veteran guy, 53 and 51 career, 148th start, 6th against the Nationals since coming over from Tampa Bay. Espinosa, left center. The ball's on the ground. Cody Ashley picks it up on a hop. So a Worth walk in the first, and now here in the third. Cue the analyst.
There goes the no-hitter.
Thank you.
Analyst is pounding coffee to try to wake up. Danny Espinosa just woke me up with the first base hit of the game. Nice inside-out swing. Boy, if he can repeat that swing on a consistent basis, you watch the average climb up in a hurry.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
There's a lot of hits over on that side of the field. Strasburg looking to sacrifice for the second time this year. That's a beauty. Hellickson took a look at second, but with a 4-run lead, don't want to do anything crazy to open up a big inning.
Check out Danny swing again. Why not? It's pretty. Exmo, foot down early. Kind of an inside-out action. Sometimes he'll get in pull mode. That time he fights to get inside of it. Now looking to get the Nats on the board.
Well,
Second time around, we'll see if they figure out Hellickson.
Yeah, it's Ben Revere and Jason Worth. Revere hit the ball pretty far. About 370 first time, straightaway center field, but the Nats won him slashing ground balls and hitting line drives. Cody Ashe is playing so shallow in left field. Franco even with the bag at third. So some slashing room over on that left side. And the inside step off move.
So look at MAIKEL Franco. He's in. So if Ben Revere can hit the ball on the ground, he's got tons of room in that 5.5 hole because of the threat of a bunt. Franco's creeping in on the grass, so he has no range at third. And look where Freddie Galvis is. So in essence, it's almost like a runner on first for a pull lefty. He's got the whole left side. You're fast, you draw the third baseman in. It cuts down on his range. A shortstop has to take 2 or 3 steps to his right. With Ben Revere's speed, put it in your pocket. That's why Dusty Baker and the Nats want him to go that way, hit the ball that way. And he has in the past, and he does it real well. He just hasn't done it on a consistent basis yet this year, but he's getting there.
Well, one guy from the bottom of the order is on base. You've got sluggers coming up. Hellickson's breaking ball misses, 2-1. Jason Worth, base on balls first time. Galvis all over the place over there. Revere, soft fly ball. That's on the ground, beyond the reach of Herrera. Espinosa had to hold up. So he's at third. Revere drops in a base hit. And now, with the bigger guns coming up, the Nats are in business, third inning.
Man, nothing Danny Espinosa could do right here, but that's the swing I'm talking about. Do you see that pitch? It's on the inner half. Look at him fight to get it up the middle on the other side. Espinosa has to wait for that ball to drop. Ferreira catches that, and he's off too far. He's doubled up, so he can only advance to third. So nice piece of hitting by Ben Revere, and all of a sudden here in the third, the line's starting to move. Jason Worth trying to get the Nats on the board.
Worth last 23 games, 12 RBIs, 13 runs scored. Hitting just under .290. So when the Nats embarked on the road trip, he was hitting .224. Comes into tonight .236. Over 300 this month. Got to DH a couple of nights in Chicago to keep the legs fresh.
He has the whole right side right now if he wants it. Holes everywhere.
And Hellickson had him lunging, 0-2. Jay Revere had to hustle to get back. He goes back into a bag as hard as he goes into second base. Ben this year 2 for 5 stealing. Can't get picked off, down by 4. Worth takes one inside.
I mean, you can. It just wouldn't be good.
It would be devastating, in my opinion.
I mean, you surely can get picked off down by 4. It just wouldn't be a good thing. And stop calling me Shirley.
Target inner half. Worth turns on it. Left field corner. Nats are on the board. Revere toward third. Bob Henley's going to send him. Here comes the relay. He is safe. And at third base, it's Worth. Better get back, Jason. The crowd's on its feet, and the Nats are right back in the game with some exciting baseball.
That was one of the more exciting plays of the year, period. And it's the Ben Revere effect. I'm telling you, I hate to simplify it and just say when he gets on, good things happen, but it just seems that way. You know, having flashbacks of Denard Span when he got on. Ben with the single, and watch him go. Bob Henley sends nobody else on this ball club right there. And did you see Ben Revere kind of running out of gas coming around third? The feet were going one way, the arms were going another way. Jason Worth had notions of scoring as the ball hits Ben Revere in the foot and ricochets. Look at that shot to the side. And Jason Worth, watch him, he does the slide thing to stop. He was thinking about scoring, so very exciting play. Guys running everywhere, ball in the corner. Good at bat, Jason Worth.
2 RBIs by Jason, 33 on the year. Here's Harper.
That was a cup of coffee right there.
It's a double, third on the throw. And Harper eager to make it a 4-3 game or beyond. Swing and a miss. Harper bouncing ball right side first time. Hit it pretty sharply to the right of where Hernandez is now. There was a runner at first base that time, Worth. He was on the move, and they had Freddie Galvis way over toward our right from where he is now. It's a big power zone.
So check out Revere. I mean, a guy that's a low flyer. Watch him come around third base. So he's going hard here, and then when he hits third, he just kind of starts swimming. Look at this. His feet are out. His arms start flying. And he kind of ran out of gas, but he's still running faster than anybody else in this ballgame.
Harper on a pitch in the dirt, blocked by Ruiz.
I mean, he didn't look right coming around third. I don't know if he's okay or not. There was a different angle that kind of showed his foot in a weird position. I don't know if he tripped coming around third. Let's hope he's okay. Seems okay.
2-1 pitch.
All right, you had your chance to drive one. Now take that sac fly to left.
Bryce 37 runs batted in. Murphy the team leader with 39. Target away. 3-2.
Kind of banged into Carlos Ruiz's shin guards. I think he's fine.
Looks like he's looking at his left hand. Payoff pitch with 1 out. A big pitch for Hellickson here. Had a 4-run lead. Bryce takes the walk, his 50th of the year. And it'll be Murphy right behind him. Hellickson's second walk tonight. Only Paul Goldschmidt with 55 more walks than Harper. Murphy pulled the ball sharply right side first time. That was with Worth at second. This time Tommy Joseph has to hold Harper, so a whole lot more pull room over there. Target was on one side, the pitch to the other, ball one. Murphy at home came in hitting .409. Bouncing ball right side. The Phillies get what they wanted. A 4-6-3 double play ball. Nats pick up a couple. Had a chance for more, but they have taken a big bite out of that deficit. Is brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid. All-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com today. Right center field, behind the upper deck. The place to be on a Friday night. Well, one of them. Left center's not bad. Dead center's not bad. And Jason Worth, a couple of RBIs to get the Nationals on the road back. Here's where Strasburg needs the shutdown inning. Phillies 4 runs on 5 hits in the last 2 frames. Cody Ashe got him for an RBI hit up the middle. Ashe career against Washington now over 325. But he goes 3-0 to the leadoff man. In the air to left. Strasburg battles back from 3-0. Jason Worth takes the fly ball. Next 5 games, and they're all right here. Now you're looking at the rest of the homestand already. Roark and Ross against the Phillies tomorrow at noon, Sunday at 4. Then the Cubbies in. Night games on Monday and Tuesday, and then a 4 o'clock game on getaway day, when the Nationals will be winging it off to the West Coast for the first time this year. Padres, Dodgers, and then on the way home, Brewers on the next road trip.
It's a good ballpark trip. All 3.
Yeah, it is. 4 in San Diego, by the way.
There are 2 things I look for when the new schedule comes out. Games in Chicago, games in San Diego. And I saw 2 trips to Chicago and 4 days in San Diego. I said, woohoo, that's a good schedule.
I'll tell you what.
The two best towns.
I can wait till next year to see Chicago traffic, though. My goodness.
Well, that's the only thing.
That whole city is I-395 going through the district. 1-2 with one out. And Strasburg has it going on again. 4 in a row. Strikeout number 5. Mercedes-Benz will track a classic.
It's a changeup. 90. Good late movement.
.90-mile-an-hour changeup. We still marvel after seeing it for the better part of 6 years. Here's Hellickson, sacrifice bunt first time. Jeremy Hellickson, 2 for 14 hitting this year. A couple of RBIs.
Clever with the 80s music tonight. They just played Out of Touch by Hall & Oates after the strikeout.
Yeah,
I love it.
No bat touching ball there. Fastball gone. Hellickson leaned back. It was right over the plate, up maybe a bit. And in 4 innings now, Strasburg 6 strikeouts. He's retired 5 in a row. Zimmerman straight ahead. President's race, they're all in 80s garb, and is that Teddy?
They do a little walk like an Egyptian by the Bengals. I just want to know who's Susanna Hoffs.
You know what's going to happen. Teddy's going to take off and leave him. It's not easy to turn 4 ex-presidents into Egyptians, I'll tell you that. Bottom of the 4th inning. Clever. Zimmerman, Ramos, and Drew on a picture-perfect baseball night in Washington, D.C. The Nats are 12 games over 500, 2.5 up on the Mets, who throw Harvey at Milwaukee against Junior Guerra tonight. Ryan Zimmerman, Wilson Ramos, Steven Drew, bottom 4. Max Scherzer's next assignment will be against the Cubs. Interesting about Jeremy Hellickson, last time out 6 days ago against Milwaukee, a no decision and a 6-3 loss, 3 runs, 7 hits in 5 innings. When he gets that extra day of rest, pretty good. It also makes you marvel at decades ago when there were 4-man rotations and most starters were pitching 4 days apart. Different game back then. Relievers would pitch way more than 1 inning. They weren't the specialists that they are now.
There's Marty McFly on the scoreboard.
That looks like Ryan Zimmerman to me. Nice. Ryan was the first guy to really get into the spirit of this thing with the fantastic promo, which I'm sad to report is no longer running on Masson.
Let's just show it every once in a while. See if we can hit one Back to the Future right here.
He could do that if he put one in the red seats. First ever homer in this ballpark. He'll go the other way and hit it well. The ball's got some carry to it. And Tyler Goodell, Ryan Zimmerman continues to make great contact.
Cubbies are coming to town. Nats Park, June 13th through the 15th. Well, it'll be the only time during the 2016 regular season you can see the Cubs. So check out 2 of baseball's best ball clubs. To get your tickets, visit nationals.com/tickets.
Ramos, hot shot beyond the third base bag. And then Franco went backhand to throw him out. Hellickson from Des Moines, Iowa, drafted by the Rays in the 4th round 11 years ago. Best season for them, 13-10 in 2011. He was a 12-game winner there a couple of years after that. 1 stop last year in Arizona, 9-12 for the D-backs, and then the Phillies got him. Ramos to center. It had a sound, and it is out of here. See you later. 4-3 ball game. Wilson Ramos, 9th of the year. It's where the big boys hit him. .107, 422 feet on an inside-out swing. I mean, he went down and got that. He got his hands inside of it. Instead of pulling it foul like he did the previous ground ball, he made the adjustment. And like I said, Carp goes out where the big boys go. That was impressive. RBI number 34. The Nats' 83rd home run of the year. So Stephen Drew steps in, 4-3 ball game, 1 out, 4th inning. And he hits one to the scoreboard. Is it tied? Yes! Stephen Drew, 5th of the year. Turn on the power in D.C. The Nats are back even.
It's the 8th time this year they've gone back-to-back homers. Some Wa's coming. There we go. There's a Wa.
Nats have now homered in a team record 14 consecutive games. And how about a surge off the bench thanks to Stephen Drew?
Right.
Here comes Espinosa. Don't sleep on strike 1 here if it's down the middle. Oh, he's going to bunt, and it's looking good. Nobody to throw to. Base hit. Big ball, small ball by your Nationals here.
so much going on. It's been an exciting game. Well, let's check out some homers. Because, you know, they always upstage a good bunt, don't they? Even though that bunt was pretty. Look where that pitch is. It's down and in. And then Stephen Drew with some extension, getting a chance to play, stringing some at-bats together. We loved his swing against the White Sox. Dusty gives him another start here, and he doesn't let the skipper down or his ball club. Stephen Drew can play. The more you see him, the more you like. And then Danny Espinosa with a beautiful base hit bunt.
You know, Dusty said before the game today about Stephen Drew. He said maybe that short porch at Yankee Stadium for a couple of years got him out of what he does best. And he said he was just as impressed with the base hit Stephen hit up the middle as he was with any home runs he's pulled out of the park. So the Nats have overcome a 4-0 deficit to tie the game. Second biggest of the year. 5-0, of course, in Cincinnati just Sunday. And here's Steven Strasburg. I would say no guarantee he'll be bunting with one out, but we'll see.
Tie game? Absolutely, he's bunting.
Okay. Second base. And they turn a 2-6-3. Steven just didn't get the ball far enough away from Carlos Ruiz. So the Nats tie it. Ramos and Drew back to back.
It out again. He fouled the ball down the third baseline, came around it. What's that mean? He kind of cast his hands out. Watch where the sinker is from Jeremy Hellickson. It's down and in on the black on the inner half of the plate. He pulls his hands inside the baseball. He hits it to center field. What a swing. Watch the fan in the background. He goes crazy. We go crazy because, Carp, that's a pitch that if you don't get your hands inside the baseball, it's a ground ball to third. Yeah. If you're lucky, it's a double down the left field line. But the fact that he pulled his hands inside the baseball, fought to get the barrel to it, and is strong enough to hit that 422 feet. Usually the balls you see 422 are belt high. They have salami hanging off them. It's a meatball right down the middle. That was not a bad pitch by Jeremy Hellickson that just went 422 feet. Unbelievable.
70th career home by Wilson Ramos, and he's on some kind of pace now, too. Did you see Hellickson just absolutely freeze when he made contact with that ball? He didn't even bother to turn around.
No, it had the sound. It sounded like a gun went off. I mean, if you're not doing anything and you're home right now, go to a computer and vote for Wilson Ramos as an all-star. He deserves it. Absolutely. Just for that swing.
Top of the fifth, so here's Strasburg now. Steven got a 1-2-3 fourth inning. 5 in a row retired. Odubel Herrera 0 for 2, a strikeout and a liner to short. Funny looking foul ball right off the end of the barrel there. Boy, Nats starters know if they keep a ball game close now, they've got a great chance to win.
Well, that's a good point.
This team just has lightning strike capability to come back.
Well, if you give up 3 or 4, you can't get your dauber down. Not with this ball club. There's been other teams in the past, if you get down 3 or 4, shut it down. But, you know, with Jayson Werth and his bunch, if you get behind, they have catch-up power. So if you're a pitcher, that's a great point, Carp. You can't go Gumby shoulders. You can't think I'm having a bad day. You got to go, okay, if I hold them at 4, I got a good chance to win this game.
Well, and they almost got Gio off the hook last night. Just hit into some bad luck in Chicago. White Sox made a couple of plays. Right side, well hit. Murphy staying right behind it. 6 straight for Strasburg since the Joseph home run. And by the way, looking at the weather, 91 tomorrow, 91 Sunday. You talk about balls flying, who knows?
Yeah, DJ Taters is going to be live in concert in center field. There he is.
CESAR Hernandez,
right,
1 for 2.
Right up there. Put him up there. I'm going to hit it out the park. When Danny Espinosa squared after the back-to-back home runs, in my head, I was like, what is he doing? Oh, nice bunt. That away.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking back-to-back-to-back, right?
You know, it's like the basketball coach. Don't take that shot. Oh, it went in. Nice shot.
That way. Take it again.
Hernandez base hit to right last time, 1 for 2. Strasburg on a 1-1 pitch, blows it by him, 96 miles an hour. Mets did not score in the first at Milwaukee. Nats by 2.5 over New York starting the weekend. Well, Pete Maganon's ball club losing 10 of their last 13. 4 wins over the last 20 days or so. On the road, they've been respectable, 13 and 15, 500 at home. And Hernandez battling Strasburg here. MAIKEL Franco 0 for 2. Brought to you by Mercedes, the Hernandez AB. Ball stays fair. Zimmerman right down the line. 2 outs. I am really loving watching Ryan Zimmerman play first base.
Yeah. Seamless transition, right?
Absolutely.
Calling all Hokies and Wahoos, Wednesday, June 29th is our second annual college rivalry day. With the purchase of a special ticket, you enjoy pregame activities, get a reusable Nats acrylic cup. I think that's it on the right there. Then cheer on the Nats as they take on the Mets. 7:05 start. Go to nationals.com/rivalry day for tickets.
Franco lashes one to left. Werth. Yes! Jayson Werth to his right.
Who is that guy?
I'm checking his age as we speak.
Hitting
he
homers,
can't be 37.
Running the bases, hitting doubles, flying around third, sliding, getting in at 4 a.m. Jayson Werth playing like he's 22. What a great play by the Nats left fielder, and Stephen Strasburg is digging it. So are we.
We're back for the bottom of the fifth, and Ben Revere is on base again. That's the lead run right here in the middle of the ball game, and Ben Revere now 2 for 3 tonight.
Almost like Michael Taylor's catch in Chicago the other night, right? Going to his right, fully extended into the glove. Great play by Jayson Werth.
And suddenly Ben Revere is 8 for his last 17. So here comes Werth, a walk and a 2-run double. And he spits on that pitch that doesn't miss by much. So 4.50 Phils, 4.70 Nats. All 7 of those hits in the last 2+ innings. And Werth gets under this one to center. Twilight time. Herrera didn't see it right away. And then after Hernandez gets out of the way, he'll make that grab. 1 out. Dangerous time of the night.
I just want you to keep an eye on something, the game within the game. Ben Revere's speed at first base. And you're watching Jeremy Hellickson right now. He's speeding up his delivery. Well, what does that mean? Well, when you speed up your delivery sometimes a pitcher and you do that slide step, it takes away from the energy, the inertia you need to get out of the stretch to get something on your pitches. So now not only are you worrying mentally about the speed of Ben Revere, physically you're changing your delivery to speed it up to the plate. And that's what I talk about, the Ben Revere effect.
Yeah.
Now you're thinking about the guy in first. Look at how quick he is to the plate all of a sudden. So you don't have as much movement, velocity. You leave something belt high. Guys will take advantage of that. So it's not just the mental thing, which is huge if you're thinking 50-50 about Ben Revere and the hitter.
Yeah.
But it's also the stuff because you're altering your approach.
Then you have 8 nervous defensive guys out there too at the same time.
Absolutely.
Bryce with a ground ball to second and a walk. right before Murphy hit into that inning-ending double play, third inning. Target away. Well out there, 2-0.
Threw him a 2-0 curveball, I think, first time up. See what he does here. What do we got on the bottom of the bat tonight? Oh, I love it. Tribute to the greatest of all time.
Nice.
How does he do that? They just stamp it for him real quick.
So 6 walks career against Hellickson, 3 hits.
You think Manny Machado had those put on the bottom of his bat?
I don't know. After that one he threw, it might say, "I am the champ."
I'm glad he went. You got to protect yourself. You can't let somebody throw 99 at you and try to end your career.
I mean, how many pitches in that game were like right at him? Revere going right at second. It's a Harper walk. So Ben Revere into second base. 2 on, 1 out.
For every Nats walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. The Nats have drawn 211 walks, BRYCE all of them, for $10,550. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
$250 per walk, right, you said? 50. By the way, or 50.
Yeah, 50.
Where's my calculator that you had in your pocket earlier?
I know.
I want that back.
My Revenge of the Nerd calculator.
Bryce Harper's now walked 51 times.
Yeah, it's
Cha-ching.
It's in my pocket. I'll get it.
All right. It's $250 for the homers, right?
Yeah.
Murphy looks at a strike call that he didn't agree with, outside edge. So Daniel last time hit a ground ball right to the second baseman with first and third, 1 out. You know, he's going to do whatever he can to make this result different.
Here's your calculator, nerd.
Thank you. That was your pocket protector, by the way. Oh, and 2.
Oh, yes, the A-team.
Da, 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 da. Mr. Murph and Mr. T.
Murphy, right?
Yeah, that's him, right?
Hannibal, Mr. T. Those are the chains you had on the other night when you were freestyling.
You got it, homie. 0-2 with 1 out. Murphy turns on one. That ball is a rocket to the fence. Scoring is Revere. Harper to third. Here he comes. The relay, no chance. The Nationals lead 6-4. And Daniel Murphy has 41 RBIs. I'd call that a different result than the last at bat.
I mean, just look where this pitch is. It's off the plate in. It's down. He drops the barrel on the baseball. There's nothing to the stride. Look at the head right down to the point of contact. And the ball staying in the park allows Bryce Harper to score. Watch, you're thinking, is that going to hop over the fence? No, it hits kind of dead. Takes a funny hop for Tyler Goodell. Easy send for Bob Henley. Bryce Harper flying around third base. Daniel Murphy with the fist pump. Daniel hits Murphy, does it again.
84th hit of the year. And it's his 30th extra base hit. Zimmerman takes ball 1. Phillies have an extra arm of their bullpen. That's Luis Garcia, who they just called up. Now Murphy, 7 of his last 12 hits extra bases. 104 MPH. I love the technology that describes the game. Like that velocity and the distance.
I do too.
Sometimes we're not real wild about the technology that changes the game, but when it enhances and gives us more information, it's fantastic.
Agreed. I'll tell you what, Jeremy Hellickson has made 2 good pitches tonight. Granted, it's not fuzz. It's not 96, 97. It's 90. But the pitch that Wilson Ramos hit out was a good pitch. That pitch to Daniel Murphy right there was a good pitch. Just got some real good hitters who know how to get the barrel of the baseball that are both having real good years.
Boy, this lineup so dangerous with extra base hits now. Zimmerman pops one up. Ruiz back to have a look, and it's right at the end of the first tier of seats there. The scramble is on, and one of the kids got it.
Sacrifice some popcorn for a baseball every time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Always get more popcorn. You can't get more baseball.
Ryan lined out hard to right field last time. 3 for 13 career against Hellickson, who's been rocked now for the last 3 innings. Another long count, 3-1. He had a 4-0 lead after 2.5. The Worth double, the big turnaround hit of the game. And the Nats weren't frustrated when Murphy hit into that double play. Right back at it with Ramos and Drew the next inning. There was another double play on the Strasburg bunt, and the Nats shrugged that off. Single, walk, double here in the 5th. Things are happening quickly.
It's a good swing and miss. You know why? 3-1, you're all in on the fastball. If you just tap that off the end of your bat to second base, you're upset. But if you swing through it, you still got another chance. Sure. 3-2. Worst thing is to sit one pitch, get fooled, and just put it in play.
So a payoff pitch with 1 out. Zimmerman to the left side. Murphy has to retreat. Galvis throws out Ryan Zimmerman for the 2nd out of the 5th inning.
Time for some Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Going to show you the Buffalo and the pitch I was talking about. Down and in. He drives it out for home run number 9. Look at that. It's a pitch a lot of guys pull. Hellickson knew as soon as he hit it. A far one, I think 422 feet. And then Stephen Drew, no mystery here, gets a slider down and away and pulls it out to right field. So he had a good swing going the other night in Chicago. Was it last night? I think it was. And tonight doing the same thing here.
Yeah, it was 2 nights ago.
Okay. It's all running together.
Ramos waiting for that breaking ball. Couldn't get it at the end. A monstrous home run to dead center last time up. We've had some sluggers in this town since the Nats came from Montreal. Soriano, Dunn, others. But I've never seen a Nats team slug like this. The power zone's getting a little bigger too. Phil Killer. So he's seeing a bunch of breaking stuff right now.
Took the fastball away with the homer.
How about the Nats' streaky nature this week? Sunday, they scored 10 straight runs against the Reds. Tuesday, 8 straight against the Sox. 11 straight against them on Wednesday. And now 6 unanswered runs here tonight. And Ramos not biting on that 3rd one.
That's the one he swung at all last year. Seeing the baseball. Heads more still. Confident level rising daily. That's the one he couldn't pick up the rotation on before he got that LASIK surgery.
Second base Murphy, 2 outs, 6-4 Nats. Ramos pulls it, left side Franco. And that's it for Washington. How about 3 consecutive innings with 2 spots to lead by 2?
Runs and taking a 6-4 lead here at Nationals Park. Daniel Murphy delivering the go-ahead knock. In Murphy's prior at-bat, he grounded into a double play, and I kind of thought to myself, I don't really remember Daniel Murphy doing that too many times this year. That's because he hadn't. That was the first time all season long that Daniel Murphy had grounded into a double play, making him just one of only 2 qualified players in the NL with enough at-bats to qualify not to ground into one prior to today. Chase Utley, the only other guy who's still now in the National League, has not grounded into a double play. Especially remarkable, guys, considering Murphy isn't really a burner, not a speed guy. Had avoided the ground ball double play until today. That was his first one.
Yeah, then he sure compensated for that next time around. Strasburg is strike, 6th inning underway, and that's Dan with our Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
Well, if you're hitting line drives every time up, you're not going to hit into double plays.
Strasburg some swing back to that fastball, but it stayed outside. Tommy Joseph, long 2-run homer last time up, but when he did that, the Phils were up 4-0 in the 3rd. So Strasburg shuts down 8 hitters in a row, and then the offense starts slamming down the fences.
Might have been his nastiest pitch of the night too, right there. That changeup.
One ball, 2 strikes. Bolts the fastball to the outside edge. Phillies box. It's all in the 2nd and 3rd. Ruiz a walk. Then hits by Galvis, Ashe, Goodell, producing their first 2 runs. CESAR Hernandez led off the 3rd base hit, and then Joseph went deep. Swing and a miss on a pitch up. 7th strikeout by Steven Strasburg, which pulls him even with Max Scherzer for the year.
Climbing the ladder. There was a 97 in there. This one 96. Tough to catch up there. Steven Strasburg just going power against Tommy Joseph.
So the Nats have 2 pitchers with 107 Ks. And here's Carlos Ruiz. 0 for 1, walk and a run scored. Strikeout royalty.
For a long time.
Hot shot. Espinosa got right behind it. 2 down. Next up, Freddie Galvis.
Join us for our first Budweiser Button Burgers music party on Saturday, July 9th at Nats Park, featuring 80s, 90s, and 2000s cover bands playing live music from noon to 5. Tickets are $20 in advance, $25 at the door until June 19th. Use the coupon code BUD for a $5 discount. Visit nationals.com/BudMusic for tickets and details.
Leg warmers put on a very fine show before the game today.
They did.
They were rocking the house out there in center field. Two 2-0. Steven Strasburg about to hit 90 here. He had 52 pitches after 3 innings. 40 after 2.
Pretty good pitch.
Fastball just missing. Maybe a changeup. It said 91.
That was a changeup. A little fade to this changeup at 91.
Three and 2 now to Galvis, who's 1 for 2. Got him! For the second time tonight, a batter tosses his bat thinking he walked. And then Gabe Morales gives Strasburg the strike call. He's retired 11 in a row. If he gets that, what's a hitter to do?
The 2016 CLA 250 lease at $299 a month. 6-4 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. I want to show you some pitches that were hit hard tonight that were pretty good pitches. First on the left, Wilson Ramos, the home run we showed you a few times, down and in. He clicks it. And then look at the one to Daniel Murphy, kind of the same spot. Wilson hits his to center. Daniel Murphy turns on it. But both guys got their hands inside of where the baseball was in order to get the barrel to the ball and keep it fair.
I got to tell you, I was a little stunned on the pitch to Murphy. I'm watching that thing come in. I'm thinking, okay, no way. All of a sudden, it's on a line drive over the right fielder's head. Amazing.
But that's why he got on the plate. That's why he and Kevin Long made that adjustment last year as the Mets. Because if you can cover that pitch that we just showed you standing on the plate, which a lot of lefties can't if you're going to stand on the plate. Now that the pitch on the outer third is middle, the pitch down the middle is a little bit in, and that pitch you can still do damage. Why not stand on the plate? It's a tough pitch to cover.
1-1 to Drew. He's going to hit a line drive right at CESAR Hernandez. Nationals box. It all started in the third with a Danny Espinosa base hit. Revere a single. Worth drove them both in. Ramos and Drew went back-to-back, bottom of the fourth. And then in the bottom of the fifth inning, Ben Revere ignited a two-run rally that featured a Harper walk. Ben and Bryce both scored when Murphy hit that remarkable double over the head of Tyler Goodell. Espinosa 2 for 2.
Good uni working too. Dirty.
Batting average up over 210 now. And the count's even 1-1. Hellickson due to bat third in the top of the seventh. Something we didn't have to even think about the last 3 nights in the American League ballpark. A couple of schools have thought on that, taking your pitcher out or when you take him out if you're an American League manager. It's all about the eye test and seeing if your guy's losing it or not, because you're just not going to automatically pinch hit for him when he's down maybe a run or two late in the game or the middle of a game. I've heard arguments on both sides. Some say, well, it's so easy to manage in the American League, but you really have to know when your pitcher is on the verge of being done.
Plus, when you go out there and you take a pitcher out in the American League, you're just saying, I'm going with somebody better. It's not because of a double switch and I want to get somebody in the game. It's not because I have to pinch hit for you. There's no other reason than you're just done. And sometimes that's hard for an American League manager when they walk out to the mound and just say, you're done. And National League, you say, hey, I'm trying to get so-and-so in the game, double switch, get something going offensively. I need him to hit second next inning. But the American League, it's just, thanks for coming, you're done. All right.
I had somebody ask me today, what if it was the 80s, why aren't the Nats wearing Expos uniforms tonight? We've never done that here. It was just one person asking an opinion question.
I would be for it, obviously.
Sure you would. Espinosa, and that's foul.
The powder blue road unis with the stripes on the shoulders.
I like those, and I also like the solid blue caps.
Yeah, that was later on. Yeah. In the 90s, they went to the solid blue caps. That's the old clown hat. Used to wear those in the minor leagues. It's 80s night. Why not? I
tell you, we talk about stuff from the past and the crew finds it in the ballpark. Two and two to Danny, battling here with one out. 6th inning. 3-2. This may not seem like that big of a deal, but I think it is. Danny Espinosa's on-base percentage is about to climb over 300. He's been battling all year to get his batting average over 200. So he's still found a way to get on base at times.
Yeah, human sacrifice.
And batting 8th. He launches one, heading for the bullpen. See you later. Danny Espinosa, 7th home run in his last 14 games. The DC Power Company does it again.
Danny Espinosa is a bad dude. I mean, he's a little guy with a lot of thump in his bat. He's playing a great shortstop. And of course, I mean, bad is good. He is having a night tonight.
Strasburg hits one well to right foul.
And he's turning his season around, even from an average standpoint. Third hit of the night, excuse me. I put base hit bunt down second time, missed it. 109 miles an hour. So in 2011, he had 21 home runs. He's got 10 already this year. That was his career high. And wow, if he stays healthy and keeps doing what he's doing, you feel like that number's in jeopardy.
That's Danny's 78th career home run. I mean, look at the power in that shot.
Yeah.
True, Worth, Espinosa, Harper.
Shoe.
Where's Wilson Ramos?
Rally banana. There's Wilson. Buffaloes don't eat bananas.
Strasburg gets a big curveball and strikes out. Hellickson, first strikeout since the second inning, his second of the night. So this should be his finish right here against Revere. Phillies now down by 3, and he's due to bat third. Ben Revere, 8 hits in his last 17 at bats, including 2 in a row tonight as Luis Garcia gets warmed up again.
It's one of the hardest home runs we've seen in a while, right? 109.
Wow.
I mean, usually they're around 104, 107 on a good one. You usually see the base hit line drives that are in, 110, 112. But 109, that ball got out of here. Heads up in the bullpen. Missiles flying at you.
Revere, 2 hits, 2 runs. Now Ben's at 200. Remember when the road trip opened at Philadelphia, the Nats had a bunch of guys in the lineup one night that were hitting under 200. Those numbers are in the rearview mirror. Scorches another one. Great pick by Hernandez. CESAR Hernandez robs an ex-teammate. But the Nats get an Espinosa home run with 1 out in the 6th. Danny hopping, skipping all over one, and it banged into the back of the bullpen. 7-4. Steven Strasburg may be about to go 28th time with 10 strikeouts in a game or more. He's at 8 through 6 innings. A little bit of a lull there, FP, after his 3rd strikeout in the 2nd. Phillies got the bat on the ball, and then from the 3rd inning on, the end of the 3rd inning, he's just been totally dominant.
But what do we always say about Steven Strasburg's start? And what do we say his last start? It's rhythm. He's a rhythm guy. He gets into the flow of the game, and then it's look out. Now it's time for Toyota Case for Kids. Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a $37 donation to Children's Inn. at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season. So rhythm. That rain delay really hurt him last time.
7th inning, Cody Ashe, Tyler Goodell, and most likely a pinch hitter. Stevens' work rate tonight has been very brisk. And over the last 3 2/3, not a base runner, 11 straight retired. Right in there. 1 2. Mets are scoreless at Milwaukee in the 4th inning. Steven Strasburg looking for his 64th career win tonight. It's his 145th start. 7-2 career in 16 outings against the Phillies. ERA 2.18 coming in. Swing and a miss. There's the changeup, and that's number 9. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. So the Nats' first 5 picks, 2 first-rounders because of the Zimmerman and Desmond compensation. Carter Kieboom and Dane Dunning. Then they get Sheldon Noisy out of Oklahoma, a 3rd baseman. Jesus Luzardo, Florida High School. And an Aggie, Nick Banks. So 5 quality picks in the first 4 rounds by the Nats. 1 pitch, ground ball, Espinoza. 2 outs, 7th inning. Potomac Nationals are continuing their homestand at the Fitz. They have a doubleheader Saturday night against the Frederick Keys. Anthony the Ant Rendon figurine giveaway. Superhero jersey auction, fireworks on the 11th, family fun day. A family post-game on the field catch on the 12th. You know how to find them.
Mike Mack's going to come out and go over Jimmy Paredes real quick. You don't usually go over pitch hitters in the pregame meeting. They're the Rodney Dangerfield of scouting report meetings. No respect.
So they never circle a pinch hitter before a series, is what you're telling me?
No, they go over the starting lineup and how you're going to pitch guys, and then you don't want to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 possible pinch hitters. You don't want to cloud a pitcher's brain with somebody who may or may not come up. So that's why I see Mike Maddox go out there. Okay, that's what you want to do this guy.
Paredes traded to the Phillies in a cash deal June 1st. In fact, the Nats were in Philly when that happened. So this year, he's been with 3 minor league teams. 15 at bats with the Blue Jays, who DFA'd him May 30th, and then on to the Phils. Jimmy Paredes, 4 for 18, 27 years of age, out of the Dominican, and he's a .257 career hitter, parts of 6 years with the Astros, Royals, O's, and Blue Jays. Now the Phils. He was late.
It's the one you want to get when you come off the bench, that first hittable fastball.
Stevens had a good job middle of the game at battling back from a few counts, but really there haven't been that many. He has been pedal to the metal for the better part of 5 innings now. And then he throws a changeup in the dirt. That's a tag, and that's it for the 7th inning. Strasburg, 14 in a row, 28th career 10 strikeout game. He's dominating, as is the Nats offense.
And just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's check out Jason Worth's evening. The big double in the third inning. That scored Danny Espinosa, Ben Revere all the way from first. And then how about the play in left field? Doing his Michael A. Taylor impersonation. Outstretched. Jason Worth, have a night. Nats, have a night. Sleep when you're dead.
Yeah. The way they're playing right now, I remember Tommy Lasorda calling that championship baseball, when you just take every department and put it all together.
You know what championship baseball is, Carp? Is when you're behind and you're on the mat and you pick yourself up. And when you talk about what they did on the road trip, a couple times to the Reds, they were down by 4 or 5 runs. They came back in one of those games, and then they were down by a bunch to the White Sox the other night in Joe Ross's game, and came back and won that. Tonight down 4-0, 7-4.
29-year-old Luis Garcia, just his second appearance of the season for the Phils, and Jason Worth 1 for 5 career against him with a walk. Leads off Harper and Murphy to follow.
You don't want to make a habit of that, though.
Sure.
But they've shown they'll fight back and compete in those games and win them.
98, and it's upstairs 2-0. So a bit of an octane change here. Big crowd at the Yard tonight for Mountaineer Johnny and Ray's beautiful facility in left field. Great shot of our ballpark. It's going to be full tomorrow too. Very few tickets remaining for tomorrow. Worth the other way with a foul. So again, a reminder that tonight Bruce Johnson back in his hometown of Louisville. He's on the WUSA 9 news team, and today the world said goodbye to the champ. Bruce will pay tribute to Muhammad Ali tonight at 11 on WUSA 9 news. Felipe Rivero. He's had a little more time off this week. Hasn't pitched since Tuesday. That was a 15-pitch 8th inning in Chicago in a one-sided game. 3-1 to Worth. He's on base for the 3rd time. Next up, Bryce Harper, who's been walked twice. Bryce walked twice, career by Garcia. 1 for 5 career against him.
Oh, David Bowie. I like it. That's a good walk-up song, even if it is an 80s night.
Harper couldn't stop. Last year, Garcia 72 games for the Phillies, 63 strikeouts in 67 innings. But he walked 37. And Bryce looked like he was slightly jammed on that one, out to center, short center. Herrera, 1 out.
Time for some lows, never stop improving. Check out the splits with Daniel Murphy. Loves Nats Park. Doesn't mind the gray uniform either. One amazing and one really good. I mean, take your pick, really.
27 multi-hit games on the year. 84 hits total. And the team leader in runs batted in with 41. Against Garcia, 0 for 1 career with an RBI. That was on a sac fly. Phillies think that Jason Werth's going to add to our highlight reel on him with a steal.
Phillies have like a rule that you have to throw over no matter who's on, it seems like. I mean, it doesn't matter who's on first base. We see him throw over all the time.
Bob McClure, the pitching coach, alongside Pete McCannon. And a 1-1 to Murphy. Took a shot at 96 up. Short lead by Jason, 1 out. Throw over anyway. He had a lean going back to the bag. What a good base runner, though. Murphy, by the way, has now driven in 60 career runs against the Phillies. He gashes one to left center. There's another multi-hit game. Looks like another RBI. Worth coming around. The Nationals lead 8-4 as Daniel Murphy does it again. A pair of doubles tonight.
So last double to the pull side. Check out this fastball speed, 99. You can't get it by Daniel Murphy. Get the barrel out to the baseball. So pull side double. Then he goes shopping at the gap. Double animal style for Daniel Murphy here tonight. And watch Jason run. Jason needs tomorrow off after the night he's had here today, and I think he's getting it. I think he and Ryan maybe are getting tomorrow off.
There's Zimmerman 0 for 3. Ryan 0 for 4 career against Luis Garcia.
Daniel Murphy can hit. My goodness. I mean, flat out hit. Like, who's better hit?
2 for 4 tonight. Over 410 at home.
I mean, when they signed him, I thought, okay, great. What an upgrade to the lineup. That's going to make it a lot deeper. He's a guy that's going to hit you 280, 290. Contact guy. See a lot of pitches. Really add to the lineup from a pesky, tough out standpoint. Thinking that maybe the postseason was just kind of a in the zone, once in a lifetime deal. No, he took that postseason and he's just run with it into this season and become a legit 4-hitter at the big league level. And I did not see that coming.
42 RBIs in 59 games.
I mean, legit cleanup hitter at the big league level. When they signed him, I thought, oh, they might hit him second. Be a good 2 guy to hit behind Revere. Maybe 5th once in a while. But hitting behind Bryce Harper, having an all-star year, having an MVP type year.
Daniel Murphy hit 5th on opening day at Atlanta. All he did that day was walk twice, homer, and have an RBI double.
You love the move because, hey, number one, you don't have to face him 19 times again. Number two, he's a great hitter. We loved him as a Met, or hated him, however you want to put it. And now doing what he's doing here, it's been remarkable.
3-1 to Zimmerman now. The Phillies had 5 hits before the Nats had a single hit. They led 4-0. So since then, 8 runs on 10 hits, totally unanswered. Thanks in part to Steven Strasburg and what he's done on the mound. Zimmerman to short. Murphy retreats. Galvis for the 2nd out.
They had 10 unanswered runs a few times on the road trip. All right, let's go to your computers right now and vote for Wilson Ramos, Daniel Murphy, Bryce Harper. And if I'm leaving somebody out, I'm sorry. For up to 35 times, vote today, vote tomorrow at nationals.com/vote.
Wilson Ramos 1 for 3 with a long home run.
I think I got it. I think I nailed it.
Wilson 1 for 5 with 2 batted in and a walk against hard-throwing Luis Garcia. That was nasty and quite a block by Carlos Ruiz. And the fastball in there, 1-1. Wilson Ramos 12 for his last 27. 3 homers, 9 RBIs. Stephen Drew hitting the ball hard twice tonight, waiting. Does not bite on that slider. Three and one. That looked like an overthrow. Second walk of the inning by Garcia. So Ramos keeps the inning alive. 2 on 2 out for Stephen Drew.
You know, one of the aspects, Carp, people always talk about a quick turnaround in the 12 o'clock game tomorrow.
Right.
And it's not so much that you're playing at 12 o'clock. It's how you sleep tonight. And for players, you could talk to all of them, how they sleep on a night game to a day game. And it's not very good. I mean, you're tossing and turning. You always have that fear in the back of your head that you're going to sleep through the game. You set about 8 alarms, but you have to unwind from the adrenaline of playing in front of 40,000 people. And when you go home tonight, somehow try to get to sleep with the fear that you might miss the game tomorrow, or it's a different start time, so you have that going on. So my point is, you don't sleep very well from a night game to a day game. And that's why sometimes you see the 2-1 games, the 1-0 game. It's not so much once you get out there, you're fine. The adrenaline takes over.
Yeah.
It's you don't sleep. At least I never did with a night game and a day game the next day. You don't sleep at all. Flip-flop all night.
And Drew out of play.
And then if you take something to help you sleepwalk through the whole next day. So it's just, that's why players don't like day games.
And it's supposed to be smoking hot here tomorrow, too. Looks like we'll have our first 90-degree day of the year, and maybe another one Sunday. One ball, one strike.
It's his tater zone.
Drew drills one, heading for the scoreboard. It is off the very bottom of the board. Murphy scores. Ramos to third. The Nationals have added to their lead. Now 9-4. This has to be the best guy off the bench in all of baseball right now. And there might not be a whole lot of bench if he keeps doing this.
Well, I don't know where you put him. Everybody's swinging it right now. But Dusty Baker, I mean, are you really a bench guy when you play for him? He's getting everybody their turn. Likes to go back-to-back days with guys at times. But Stephen Drew had a whale of a game, I think, Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
In Chicago. My days are running together. Backing it up here again tonight with a home run and now a double. And he lined out to second his last time. This team is fun to watch, aren't they?
Well, you had Dusty nailed on that one from our first telecast in spring training, how he was going to use the guys. You've seen him for years. And here we are, second week of June, and it is really paying dividends.
You know what it will pay the most is in August and September when guys are still fresh. The starters are still fresh. And you know, quite frankly, around here, we haven't seen that. Seen a lot of tired players late in the season and going into October even, because the bench was never really used here until now, or at least not used like this.
Danny Espinosa 3 for 3. Chris Heisey on deck for Steven Strasburg, who's had 104 pitches. Maybe an easier decision now for Dusty with a 5-run lead.
Yeah.
That's why Felipe Rivero is revved up and has been for a while.
Steven did a nice job of not letting it get away.
Could have. How about 14 in a row after that? Nine unanswered runs on 11 unanswered hits. Third base Ramos, second base Drew, who's up to 10 RBIs now. And by the way, Stephen Drew, 7 of his last 14 hits, extra bases. In fact, that's his hit total for the whole year, 14. Half of them doubles, homers. 2-2 to Espinosa. And a swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. The Nats have scored in 5 straight innings. 4 of those have been with 2 runs. And it's 9-4 into the 8th. Is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. To the top of the 8th we go. The Nats will make a pitching change. Steven Strasburg in line for his 10th win of the year as Felipe Rivera is on to face the Phillies top of the order.
You look at the numbers for Felipe. Opponent's hitting just 194 against the hard-throwing left-hander.
Time to shore up the outfield defense now as Michael A. Taylor into the game to play center. That moves Ben Revere over to left. Odubel Herrera against Felipe, 2 for 6. Nats have held him hitless tonight, kept him off base, which is not easy to do. That's a straight up switch. Taylor for Worth. So the pitcher still batting 9th, and maybe that's when we'll see Chris Heisey or whoever in the bottom of the 8th. Curveball outside.
Tell you what, when you think of Felipe Rivera, you don't think of a 5 ERA. When I just saw that, I mean, obviously just a couple of bad outings in Cincinnati can really ding your ERA, but
yeah,
that just didn't look right. And that'll go down. Trust me. It's going to take a minute.
He's had a heavy workload.
He has.
One-two pitch. And Herrera just flipping that fastball out of play. All he could do with it. Nine for Nats, 8th inning. Trying to bolt that outside corner. He just missed.
98.
Carlos, or rather CESAR Hernandez on deck. Three-two pitch, lost him. Odubel Herrera walks for the 39th time this year. That's in the top 5 in the league. And with more on Felipe, here's Dan.
Bob, as you mentioned, Felipe Rivera has scuffled a little bit the last few weeks, ERA going north, but Dusty Baker's tried to get his confidence back up recently by putting him in games where the margin has been a little wider than the normal late inning spots. That game in Cincinnati that he got into, the Nats were ahead 5. He got into a game in Cincinnati when they were up 10. Now 5 here today. Wider margins for Felipe to try and work stuff out.
Yeah, and that was also the case in Chicago the other night. He came in the 8th inning when the Nats were ahead 10-0. So here's Hernandez, turns around to bat from the right side. And that's a late swing for 95. Up and in. Felipe, by the way, tied for the league lead with 3 others in relief appearances with his 31st here tonight. That list includes Hector Neris in the Phillies bullpen. Swing and a miss on a pitch tailing away. 11 strikeout by Nats pitching tonight. 1 down, 8th inning.
Well, you think about the fastball with Felipe, but the changeup has become his biggest friend, his biggest weapon. I mean, he throws 97 to 99, then drops a changeup that's 10, 12 miles an hour slower. Got no chance if it looks like the fastball, it's in the zone.
MAIKEL Franco 0 for 3. And then the home run guy, Tommy Joseph, who surprised the Nats by putting the Phillies up by 4 with a 2-run shot, 3rd inning. Just a little bit inside there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bottom of the 5th at Milwaukee. Mets and the Brewers are still scoreless. Matt Harvey and Junior Guerra throwing in that one. Took a little bit off, and that changeup right to the outside edge. Well done.
Nasty.
Well, there's another one. Walk, strikeout, strikeout, a no contact inning so far. And this ought to be an interesting matchup. Felipe against the power hitter Tommy Joseph.
Well, right when you think you're getting a changeup, you get a nasty slider. I almost went with cutter just because I felt like saying it, but that was a slider.
Tommy Joseph 0 for 1 career with a ground out against Felipe Rivero. Big hit early for the Phillies. And it remains their most recent base hit in this game, 3rd inning. So now 27 2/3 innings, 37 strikeouts. That ball is hit a ton, and Tommy Joseph has another home run. That makes it 9-6.
Tommy boy can hit.
2 home runs, 4 RBIs. He now has 7 and 12 in 21 games. Phillies fans getting a glimpse into their future with a first baseman.
Well, 2-0 fastball. He's sitting dead red. It came on the inner half of the plate. I think they wanted that more away, and Tommy Joseph destroys this ball halfway up the bleachers in left field.
Not as comfortable as this game was a few moments ago. 2 outs in the 8th, and here's Carlos Ruiz. 1 for 1 with an RBI against Rivero. Chopper, 3rd base side. Felipe, bare hand. Good play. And a stretch by Zimmerman. Inning over. Phillies get a couple. Tommy Joseph, their man of the night. 9-6 Nats. An early one tomorrow. Aaron Nola, 5-4 with a 2.65 ERA. Last time out against the Nats, only 2 earned runs in 6 innings. Many are calling him the Phillies' next ace. Here's Tanner Roark. Big curveball there, 4-4. And May 30th at the Phillies against, actually one day before the Nola game, 7 innings, 2 earned runs. So breakfast or brunch with Johnny and Ray at 11:30.
Had mimosas with Bob at noon.
Oh, yeah. So 85 home runs with 3 more tonight. Expos in 99, 16 games in a row with a homer. This is Clint Robinson pitch hitting. Bottom of the 8th inning. 1 quick out for Luis Garcia. Then we'll finish it up with 35 home runs in the last 16 games.
Wow.
Crazy numbers.
So the last 16 games were here, warm, small ballpark, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, U.S. Cellular, now back here, warm, small ballpark, and guys that have thump. So you add all that, the lineup's starting to click, guys that have power, smaller ballparks, less than stellar bullpens on all 3 teams we saw on the road.
True.
And guys that can flat out hit. That's how you get those numbers. Perfect storm.
Ben Revere against Garcia. 1 career plate appearance. It was a walk. Way inside. Ben's had a good night. 2 for 3. Actually 2 for 4 now. 2 runs scored after singles in the 3rd and the 5th.
Got
Opposite
robbed.
field for 1 and pulled another one. Yeah. Yeah, Hernandez got him. Elvis Araujo.
4. Bryce Harper.
I guess Harper if the
And
inning
Daniel
gets to a
Murphy.
4th batter. And that one, oh, nice big hop. Cesar Hernandez knows they don't get much better than that. 2 outs. So Michael A. Taylor first at bat of the night, as we mentioned earlier. Straight up switch for Jason Worth. Taylor to center, and then Revere moves over and replaces Jason defensively. Taylor has got his average over 200 at 207. Michael went 1 for 3 last night in Chicago, and in that series 3 for 8, 2 RBIs. That was that base hit when Jose Lobaton barely made it to third base, and then the Nats couldn't cash in. Front door breaking ball.
Check this out, Carp. Remember this from last year? Michael A. Taylor on the scoreboard. That's fantastic. Oh my goodness, that's great.
(0-2).
He was thriller in Chicago. Made some great plays in center field.
Yeah.
Big hits all over the place on the bases. Had a nice little series there against the White Sox.
Two and two to the Nationals center fielder. Harper next. And on a breaking ball, Michael A. stays alive. And not to be lost in all this, Jonathan Papelbon in a safe situation about to take the mound. Joseph's two-run homer saw to that. Jonathan is 15 out of 17 this year. Taylor reaches out, guides one to left. Cody Ashe under it. Nationals go 1-2-3, so 3 outs to get for Papelbon to get the weekend off to a great start. Jonathan against his old teammates when we bring you back to Nationals Park. American Standard Heating and Air. It's their all-star sales event with up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months. By Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com and let us show you a good time in Ocean City, Maryland. And by Dominion. Depend on us for more than energy.
What's that thing called again? We've been gone a while.
The Washington Monument.
All right, that's right. Forgot. We're home.
That's when we always know we're truly home, when the bus in the wee hours is coming down the GW Parkway and we look across the river and there it is. We know it's 5 minutes to Nationals Park, at least at that hour. So here's Papelbon, 24th appearance. One of his 2 failed save opportunities this year against the Phillies in Citizens Bank Park.
Our fastball averaging 90.8 miles an hour, slider 79.6, and the split 85.4.
First pitch, a drive to right. Harper turned one way, then the other, and then another little adjustment on the line drive by Freddie Galvis.
Good play by Bryce Harper. Spun around, made the adjustment. Ball hit well by Freddie Galvis. And somebody on the internet was calling them papal saves the other day, and I kind of like the term. I mean, it's, as you look at Bryce make the adjustment, it's, you know, get your heart racing, couple gray hairs, and finding a way to get it done. Papal saves. I mean, he's 15 of 17.
Yeah. It's good fastball to the outside edge at the knees on Cody Ashe, who's 0 for 1 against him. Well, Bryce never lost his cool on that play. There's a fastball right down the middle, fouled away.
You know, the hardest thing is when you turn your back on a ball is, you know, where is it? It's almost like you're running a pass pattern. You got to get your head around as a receiver. Same thing when you do what Bryce just did. You got to get your head around, find the ball.
Just a little bit up. Nats trying to get back to 13 over 500. Mets at Milwaukee. They're now tied 1-1, sixth inning. And that one floats up and away. 3-2. Johnny Holiday and Ray Knight are in the yard. And they have the W.B. Mason presented Nats Extra postgame show ready for you, hopefully in moments. Nationals trying to go 16-11 at home. Papelbon throws a strike. Out of play. Nationals also trying to go 9 over against the East. They would be 22-13. Another big night from the number 8 hitter. 3-2 with 1 out. Swing and a miss. 2 down.
One of the better splits you've seen from Jonathan all season long. I mean, it had some velocity to it on top of some nasty movement at the end. See the release point looking like a fastball. Bottom drops out. Ashe over the top. Nasty split from the Nats closer.
Great crowd tonight. 37,941. Just a little bit inside to Tyler Goodell. Don't forget, one more out, and the Nats have a starting pitcher who's 10-0. (3-0). There's the on-deck hitter, number 9 man, Andres Blanco. Papelbon misses on 4 in a row. You don't want anybody else coming up in this game with 2 men on. So this is the out to get to put an end to the evening. Andres Blanco, 3 for 6 career against Papelbon with a homer and 3 RBIs. He was part of that 9th inning rally with Freddie Galvis when the Nats failed to sweep in Philly the first time. Nats will give the runner at second base, and it's ball 1.
Usually you don't see Jonathan Papelbon excited at all, but you feel like when he got to 2 outs, he kind of sped up his delivery a little bit and is rushing toward Wilson Ramos and lost his release point. Good trip by Wilson to try to get him to stay back a little longer and slow down.
(9-6) Nationals lead.
There you go. You could tell before he throws it, he slowed everything down.
Ren Zimmerman was hoping to pick up the bat and run it straight to the bag for the final out.
Hey, he got to bed at 5 in the morning last night. He's thinking, if I field this bat, run over and touch first base, we're all going home. That was funny. Watch this. Okay, if I field this, we're all going home. I don't care if it's the bat. He was shuffling back the whole time. He was thinking about making a play.
A lot going on there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bouncing ball to Papelbon. It's time to go home.
Another Papel save. Nicely done.
Nationals win it 9-6. Papelbon, 16th save of the year. Steven Strasburg is 10-0 and a crowd of nearly 38,000. Saw a lot of action tonight. More from Nationals Park. The homestands off to a good start.